Commission members. Any commission members have questions of Mr. Davis as we enter into this discussion time? Commissioner Smith?
Just one quick question, just because I've noticed it and just wanted to ask it on the record. Administrator Davis, I noticed at the very top of the petition, actually the pre-filled out computer stuff is actually marked out and it's actually handwritten because it's actually got the wrong date printed on the petition that
the original candidate petition.
The original candidate petition. Who is TS? Just for
TS is Tammy Sandage in my office.
All right, I just wanted that on the record so that we knew who TS was on there because again, mistakes happen even for us. So just didn't want to hide that.
And as a point of clarification, when we do these petitions, it gets quite busy in the office sometimes. We just automatically grab a petition, and then when an individual says, "Oh, maybe I'll run as a Republican, maybe I'll run as an independent," there's different election dates on that, which is why that was marked out and clarified, if you will, that it would be August 1 instead of March 5th.
Can you explain the process your staff goes through, Mr. Davis, in verifying petitions on the signature?
Yes, to the best of my ability. Essentially, when we get a signature in, we go to the signature that we have on file, and we verify. We're looking at things like the way the letter strokes, down strokes, and we not only are able to, by state law, and I know Coordinator Goins is here and can verify this. We're also allowed to look at handwriting and see if there are any familiar characteristics that we can a reasonable person can ascertain that we have the individual that supposedly signed it.
And is that performed by one staff person?
Typically, yeah. Well, it totally depends on how busy we are. Mm-hmm. Sometimes one person does it, sometimes two people do it. As an example, if it gets really busy in here, somebody comes in and submits a petition. Hey, you check these 2 pages, you check these 2 pages. And then they'll come in and you'll see up here where it says, okay, 27 approved signatures and circled, and then TS. She is the only individual who checked this particular petition. But sometimes we'll have 2 or 3 people who will, they do page 1, they do page 2, that type of thing. Let me add one last thing. I apologize, Commissioner. If there is a question about a signature, office practice is that we have at least 2 sets of eyes look at it to verify that. And quite often, even I'm drawn in as a third set. Hey, we're kind of iffy about this one a little bit. And this is not an unusual thing to move on from one if we don't feel as though it is the appropriate, the signature that matches.
How often are these type of challenges, petition signatures? In your tenure, how many has we?
I've been here a little over 11 years in full-time staff. I think this is the first one of these. We had some other challenges to residency. Most recently, I think Rocker, last summer, so whenever it was.
But signatures has not been.
Not here.
Mr. Davis, just to clarify for the record, the voters who signed in fields 7, 8, 9, 12, 18, 24, 27, 32, your office has verified that their addresses are compliant with 21107, TCA 21107.
Yes, they are. I think it is good for me to point out at this particular time in our double-check review of this, because we wanted to prepare for this, we determined that this is the one caveat that I would put that I think we made a mistake on. If you look at petition field number 8 of Judith Goddard, there's a Judith Goddard and there's a Judy Goddard. I've included, I believe, in your records. We included both of those. Let's see here. We counted the wrong Goddard, so that one, in my opinion, should not count. We counted Judith when we should have counted Judy. Judith was, I can't remember which one is. I can look it up real quick just to be very specific.
Number 8.
Number 8. Thank you. But number 8 is a Judy Goddard who seemingly signed a petition. It certainly looked like her signature based on her voter registration. She was a purged voter, so that one should not count. Judith Goddard, who is a active and registered voter, ironically on the same road, 7622 Goddard Road and 8229 Goddard Road, apparently did not sign the petition. Judy did. I know this gets confusing, but in my mind, the wrong person signed the petition. Don't know what happened. We get in a hurry approving it, that type of thing. That's the only one that jumps out at us at all that we got incorrect. And even with that, there would still be 26 in question, I suppose.
So Judy Goddard did have a voter registration card on file, she just happens to be hers.
That is correct.
Okay. But that signature should not count then.
That's correct.
So that takes
in my opinion, because I don't think that's the individual who signed the petition, in our estimation, in our office, is a purged voter.
Okay. So that would take Mr. Smith down from 27 approved signatures to 26.
That's my opinion. Obviously, you vote on that.
Okay.
And even then, it appears as though there's two Judith Goddards in Knox County, and they both live on the same road. We made a mistake. So, other than that, we've double checked them all. We feel comfortable with the signature, but nonetheless, that's something you can look at and make decisions on.
Commissioner Smith, you're recognized.
And that was one that I had marked. Not necessarily the signatures. I can make the argument that J's are close. However, the address on the petition does not match the voter registration file. So, therefore, because of the address mismatch, I would have wanted to have disqualified that one. Again, I'm not a handwriting expert. I don't pretend to be. But because it did not match the address for what we had on file, that was one that I was going to challenge and not accept, just because of that.
Any additional comments or discussion? Okay, we'll now move into motions either validating or invalidating each individual signature. So we will do that one at a time. Beginning with number 1. So the first name that we'll consider is Craig Hauser. Is there a motion regarding the signature of Craig Hauser and whether or not it should be validated or invalidated? We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second that it's valid.
I'll second that it's valid.
We have a motion and second. Any additional discussion about the signature of Craig Hauser? All those in favor of accepting that signature as valid, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next is the signature of Carol Hauser.
She was not challenged.
She was not challenged.
Okay.
The next go to 8, which we're going to move to disqualify for being a purged voter. For side of number 8, Judy Goddard, I would move that we find that to be an invalid and unlawful, an invalid signature because the vote has been purged.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any additional discussion? All those in favor of invalidating the signature of Judy Goddard, number 8, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Next is number 9, the signature of David C. Hawkins. Is there a motion regarding the validation or invalidation of that signature?
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion we accept on condition that the person was here and gave testimony that he did sign that. So I would move that we accept that signature.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any additional discussion? All those in favor of accepting the signature of David C. Hawkins, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. 12, is that right? I believe that is Jeremiah McLeod. Is there a motion regarding the acceptance, validation, or invalidation of the signature of Jeremiah McLeod? Move to validate.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any additional discussion?
There's a motion to validate.
Yes. Any additional discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion
Just
carries.
to be clear, that's number 12.
Yes. Next is
Number 18.
18, Cindy Woodward. Is there a motion regarding the signature of Cindy Woodward? Motion to validate. We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to validate the signature of Cindy Woodward. Any additional discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next is the signature of Robert Smeltzer, which is number 21. Is there a motion regarding the validation or invalidation of the signature of Robert Smeltzer?
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion that we accept that signature.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any additional discussion? All those in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. 22. April Smith, is there a motion regarding the signature of April Smith?
I move to validate her signature.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any additional discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Next is the consideration of the signature of Richard W. Smeltzer. We did Robert Smeltzer, and so now we're considering Richard W. Smeltzer.
Move to validate.
We have a motion to validate his signature. Is there a second? We have a motion and a second. Any additional discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. And finally, the signature of William A. Kidd.
We move to validate.
Second.
A motion and a second to validate the signature of William A. Kidd. Any additional discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
There's more.
30.
My apologies, we have two more. The next one is consideration of the signature of R. Paul Beam. Is there a motion regarding the signature of R. Paul Beam?
Motion to accept the signature.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to validate the signature of R. Paul Beam. Any additional discussion? All those in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. And finally, the signature of David Kennard. Sincere apologies for the botched pronunciation of some of the names.
I move to validate Mr. Kennard's signature.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any additional discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Next, we will, now that the signatures themselves have been validated, we will entertain a motion either for or against Mr. Stacey Bryan Smith's qualification as a candidate to be placed on the ballot.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that Mr. Stacey Bryan Smith be allowed to proceed as a candidate for the office he has qualified for pursuant to the signatures on his petition.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any additional discussion? Okay, and I will do a roll call vote for this. So we'll just start with you, Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
And Commissioner Gautreaux.
Aye.
Commissioner Bowman.
I am deeply troubled by the fact that we have a candidate for an office to the Knox County Commission who's going to be responsible for tax dollars, raising taxes and budget items, and has neglected to properly handle campaign finance disclosure documents. I sincerely hope that Mr. Smith is found to be qualified. He'll be a little more diligent in handling his financial affairs and cooperating with this office and filing financial statements and doing what's required of him by state law. Although I'm deeply troubled about that, I will vote aye.
Okay. Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
And the chair also votes aye. order of business is that we need to set a time for the approval of the minutes of this meeting. Mr. Davis, when does that need to be done?
My thought would be, and perhaps Coordinator Lawrence might want to chime in here, I would think we have a commission meeting next Thursday. I believe it'll be in this room, correct me if I'm wrong. Yes, it will be in this room. I'm assuming we could probably have them done by then, but, yeah. Oh, I see, yeah. Okay. I mean, we've already got meetings scheduled.
Yes.
So with that, then I guess, Madam Chair, I would just make a motion that we set the time for approval of the minutes to be our next regularly scheduled commission meeting of Thursday, June 13th at 8:30 a.m. here in the small assembly room.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Is there a motion to adjourn?
It was certain that the court reporter's card is part of the record.
Oh, yes.
We have a late filed, and then it will be in.
Yes. So we will establish the court reporter's card as Exhibit M for the record. Thank you. Thank you for being here today.
Now I'll make a motion to adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries.